I want to tell you a little story, a story of betrayal, a story all too familiar with the Epic Game Store and gamers in general. So the spiritual successor, I guess you could call it, to XCOM called Phoenix Point had raised almost $800,000 in crowdfunding and people were in general excited about it. 10,300 total backers made this project happen. Remember that, like, a lot of times these projects wouldn't even be in existence if it weren't for the fan funding up front. Great news, right? Crowdfunding is a risk light way to bring projects to fruition, much like we did with exclusivitygames.com, which you should absolutely check out today. They didn't reach some of their gigantic end goals, but then news broke. News broke yesterday or 2 days ago. XCOM, like Phoenix Point, will be an Epic Store exclusive for 1 year. Now, this comes just after this Epic Game Store would never have picked up this game, okay, if the backers didn't prepay for it. And now the backers are being forced essentially to use Epic Game Store. And that also means that the users who backed from China won't be able to play the game. And there is some seriously messed up data to share with you along with how this goes. But I want to show you the whole saga and ask that if you are a backer of this game, my heart goes out to you. But also, if you enjoy this type of coverage, please let me know by smashing that like button below the video and dropping a comment down below. So creator Julian Gallup says the deal ensures Phoenix Point will be updated and expanded after release. XCOM creator Julian Gallup has announced that his new game, the recently delayed and very XCOM-like Phoenix Point, will be exclusive to Epic Game Store in the first year of its release. Gallup said that the deal means certain that we will be able to update and expand Phoenix Point for years to come. Gallup acknowledges that in the video not everyone will be happy with 1 year exclusive, and that they may have an expectation of playing on a specific platform. When they originally backed, I believe users were under the impression they could get the game on GOG or Steam. Since the first two questions in the FIG campaign state explicitly that Phoenix Point will be on Steam and GOG. This might still technically be true since the Epic Store exclusivity is only 1 year, but I suspect that everyone will be satisfied with that interpretation. Not everyone. So if I offer any reason you are not happy with this change, we will be very happy to offer a full refund, and I apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused you, he said. Now, the crazy thing about this is just how much money Epic Game Store was likely to have paid Phoenix Point for this exclusivity. So, if we look at some of the Epic, the actual employees of Phoenix Point talking about it, saying that, keep in mind, we knew there would be backlash. We knew there would be refunds. If we had to refund 100% of current pre-orders, we'd still be in the black. That's how much money that Epic Game Store was likely to have paid them for the exclusivity. The long math of it is we knew Epic Games was paying developers and publishers for backlash or exclusivity. Now we know that the ballpark of their price. They paid Snapshot Games at least $2 million for the 1 year exclusivity. You'll see, Phoenix Point, the latest game to switch to a timed 1 year exclusive on Epic Game Store, raised $766,000 on FIG and also sold direct pre-orders for $1.2 million. All in, they earned somewhere between $2 and $2.5 million. The community manager then let it slip that even if they refunded all pre-orders, they would still be in the black with the money from Epic. Sorry about that. The fun of the mobile setup continues, but I promise I'm working hard to bring you all the news even though I'm stranded in a snowbank. So we know that now they've paid somewhere between $2 and $2.5 million for this exclusive, and the developer just took the money. That's what we're talking about here. Epic Game Store says, we're gonna give you $2 million, and the actual developer of the game just says, you know what, screw all of the customers that made this happen, right? All of the customers that raised all this money for your game to even exist get completely boned at the last second when you announce an Epic exclusive. Let's see, we were at, let's just see how this announcement's going over. 400 thumbs up, not too bad. Oh, 4,300 thumbs down. Let's see what some of the comments are. I pre-ordered for GOG release, going to refund since I don't want to support Epic. This is actually disgusting because this is a fully invested FIG crowdfunding game where the game literally wouldn't exist without the people wanting Steam and GOG keys. That's the most disgusting part of it. I mean, are you willing to burn all of your backers, or at least the loyal backers who wanted Steam or GOG keys, just for a one-time payout? This is going to tarnish their reputation forever. I deleted my Epic account over a year ago because it got hacked and took forever to get back. I won't make another one. I was really looking forward to this game. I would have been a day one purchase. Shame. Phoenix Point takes a shot with 1% chance of hitting. I'm sorry, Julian. I supported you early and was eagerly awaiting the game. Now you have forced me to request a refund, which is unfortunate. First, they drop official Linux support. Now Linux users can't even play it using Steam Play. Ugh. Sorry, but Epic poaching is total BS. I get the temptation of money, but Jesus, this is sad. A year of DLC is how much of that then? This could be a full 15-hour expansion or cosmetic hat. Poor show, guys. Poor show. Now, they did say, yeah, because of this, we're going to offer you a year of free DLC. Nobody cares. No Phoenix for me. I'm no way in supporting Epic Games or their store. WTF, I wouldn't have backed this if I knew it was going to go through Scumbag Epic Store. So, people are pissed, and I understand why. So there are plenty of reasons to dislike Epic Games. One, their behavior here with what we saw with Metro Exodus, and now we've seen with Phoenix Point, The Division, and then you see companies like Ubisoft coming out earlier this week saying, with Ubisoft announcing it has partnered with Epic Games and selling Division 2 digitally, it seems that some intended side effects to consumers. UK retailer Games Planet has released a memo today announcing that Division 2 will not be sold by third-party digital stores after its March 15th release date, as mandated by Ubisoft. So, I mean, you're not going to be able to get, they're totally taken over. Those who want to pick up the Division 2 outside of Uplay and the Epic Game Store, do so now before it's pulled. In other news, who gives a crap? I mean, Epic Game Store is not winning any fans in the gaming community by forcing people to use their launcher. Now, let me talk very candidly about this situation with the launcher. There are many people who have legitimate issues with having multiple launchers. I mean, on my gaming PC, I've got Origin Launcher, Uplay, Steam, Epic Games Store, I mean, and then just straight launchers. Every time I have a problem with the launcher, for example, like Uplay, I'm left wondering if this is a problem with Uplay or this is a problem with Far Cry, and if I would have had that problem without that stupid launcher. By forcing people to use the Epic Game Store launcher, you're removing their choice. This is the primary reason I don't like Epic Game Store, is the removal of choice. And the way they do it there is by not allowing user reviews and appealing to developers' cowardice for receiving feedback for their actions. Yes, Epic Game Store is great in terms of revenue, splits and shares for developers. That goes without saying. But it is horrible for customers. In exchange for maybe a few bucks off, we're losing the right to leave feedback. Epic Game Store also launched with legendarily bad refund policies, which they eventually did upgrade. And the launcher itself is unfinished. Some people refer to it as Chinese malware. There's been rumors of, Epic Game Store selling data to the Chinese government because they're owned by Tencent. There is a lot of reasons to dislike the Epic Game Store, and really their involvement in China at all puts a lot of things in question because the Chinese government doesn't really care. And then when you look at the AMA for, to complete that thought, There are many legitimate reasons to dislike the Epic Game Store launcher, but the biggest backlash, I think, which often doesn't get put to the forefront, is the removal of choice. And most people, not to say that there aren't legitimate reasons, but many people don't have any real legitimate problem with Epic Game Store. What they have a real problem with is being forced to use something that they don't want to. And that is where a lot of this backlash lies. People want to use Steam. People want to use GOG. And that's their right. Now, it's also their right to not purchase the game now that this has happened. But, you see, when you're in China even, you can't use the Epic launcher. So you can't get Phoenix Point, even if you already backed it. And it's a scary precedent to set when we can back out the numbers that developers are willing to sell their soul for. I mean, $2.5 million raised on the back. I want to leave you with the most egregious part of this, okay? This game would have never existed if not for the backers. The backers are the one that gave Phoenix Point an opportunity to be bought out by Epic Game Store. And now they are basically saying, if all of you leave, we got paid. And that is some disgusting, greedy, AAA-esque behavior, and it is not going to sit well with the gaming community. Phoenix Point should be ashamed of themselves and to let their greed be on display so obviously. You see, we have some big news. Phoenix Point is coming to Epic Game Store. We have a special bonus for our backers. Check out the full details here. What they forget to tell you is that it's a timed exclusive. Offering a refund for those who do not want to use the Epic Store, although appreciated, is simply not enough. People paid and backed this game under the premise it would be available elsewhere. The above terms screenshotted should be amended. The promise should be honored. Phoenix Point replies, "We are not available on the Steam Store, and we are not able to provide Steam keys. We're not hiding the fact that we originally planned to release on Steam and GOG. The opportunity with Epic Games came much later. After careful consideration, we made the change." Right. Somebody showed up with a briefcase full of money, and you abandoned the people that made your dream come true. If I request a refund, will that refund include the entire amount I was charged, including the additional items, e.g. t-shirt added to the pledge? You will be refunded the full amount. Cheers, refund requested. What a letdown. The list of games that will not buy at full price keeps growing. Hope the bait and switch lawsuit goes well for you. Add another refund request. I mean, it's unbelievable. I feel bad for the backers of this game, and this is just a stark reminder of what the future holds for timed exclusives, Epic Games, and in general, the gaming community. I hope you were at least entertained by this video, and we'll talk to you again real soon.